1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. On the phone right now, Basketball Hall of Famer Jim Calhoun, a 2005 inductee into the Basketball Hall of Fame, a three-time national championship coach at UConn. Coach, before we get into this year's tournament, on Mike and Mike a few weeks ago, you were forced to relive a tournament 10 years ago. You were the 1 seed. You were going up against 16th-seeded Albany from right here in the Capital Region. You were down with 10 minutes to play. What do you remember about that matchup with the Great Danes?
Well, I remember I was thinking that all games are 40 minutes. and you're right, if it was a 30-minute game, we were in big trouble. But, you know, we actually had a funny tournament all the way through. Albany gave us, Will Brown and company gave us a real good, tough go. And, you know, they're a really good basketball team. And as I said, they played exceptionally well. And it was a war, no question.
Is it because we saw so many upsets here in this year, the round of 64? Is it tough to motivate your team to go into those matchups with those underdog schools?
Well, to some degree it is, but I don't think we were, it just wasn't, we had 1 point guard in the entire team, and if he got in foul trouble, we were in a little bit of trouble, and we had a great front court, like a terrific front court, 3 guys who were on to play in the NBA, yet, that team struggled at times in that reason, and, even we eventually get and beat a good Kentucky team with Rondo and, Washington, we beat some really good teams, but we struggled in every game we played, and eventually, weren't able to win the national championship just because we didn't have great guard play. I don't know if it was that. I'd rather give credit to Albany. They were well prepared. They had nothing to lose, which is, I think, a great way. At Northeastern, I played Coach Foote, in 8 NCAA tournament games, won 3 of them, and it was great. And bottom line, it was great. And I think you have a little different atmosphere and altitude and attitude. I call it altitude and attitude, that you feel like you can play that well, and you got nothing to lose, which I think is great. And once again, Will played to that well, and his team played exceptionally well.
This year in the Final Four, we've got Roy Williams, Jim Boeheim, Hall of Fame coaches. You've got another great coach in Jay Wright, another one in Lon Kruger. How big a difference can coaching make in this Final Four, and who do you think has the edge in that department?
Well, it's really, being there before definitely helps. The first time we went in 99, obviously we were fortunate enough to win it, and 04 the same thing, and 09 we lost to the home team, Michigan State, and then won it again in 11. So, I think being there definitely helps, but right now, I try to who's coaching great, whose team is playing great, and the best team, in my opinion, would be North Carolina. The team that technically does more things wonderfully well, and that's Jay Wright's team at Villanova. They put a clinic on defensively. I thought they were magnificent against Kansas because they did so many different things to throw Kansas off. Obviously, it's a tough matchup anytime you play the Buddy Buckets from Oklahoma. He can really score so many different ways and can shoot it. And, Cousins and Wood are terrific players too. And, so and as I said, Jimmy did a masterful job. He didn't wait to put the press on, down 15. He's got to do something. Even with 6-7 minutes to go, he knew he had to change the game, and he did. The game. So each coach has various things to offer. As I said, if I've said this all along, I said this a month ago, if Carolina makes baskets, they're far and away the best team because they just have so much size up front and terrific size, actually. And if Paige makes baskets, Britt makes baskets, they're awfully tough to beat. So I'd like to tell you who I thought had the edge, but remember, I was the guy about 3 weeks ago, had an opportunity to meet with President Obama in the Oval Office, and he said, "Do you have a sure thing for the tournament?" I said, "Yeah. Take this down, Mr. President. Michigan State." So don't believe anything I have to say.
Jim Calhoun with us on 1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. Basketball Hall of Fame coach, 3-time NCAA champion at UConn.
Coach, in 2011, your team makes an improbable run to the Final Four and eventually wins the national championship. Syracuse, 9th finisher in the ACC. Your team finished 9th in the Big East in 2011. Any similarities you see between the Syracuse team and that 2011 UConn team?
Well, I think both teams got new life. But the run, 5 games, 5 days, 5 wins against 4 ranked teams in the Big East changed everything about any season we ever had. And by the end of that, by the end of those 5 days, we truly believe we could beat anybody. And like you guys just said, we got a second chance. Syracuse got a second chance. And we were a 3 seed. And, after the 2 games in the tournament, I felt there's no reason we can't win this. And, of course, we went on to do that. But we did have 3 pros. Kevin Watkins averaging 21 points a game. Shabazz Napier plays for the Orlando Magic. And Jeremy Lamb averages 10 points in the NBA. So 3 NBA players in the backcourt. 2 young. Kevin was great. But I think, if they get the same kind of shooting that they did down the stretch against Vanderbilt with their zone, I truly believe that Syracuse can beat anybody on a given night.
Former UConn basketball coach Jim Calhoun with us, 1045 The Team, 1045theteam.com. Coach, we know you're busy this time of year. You're in high demand, so we'll get you out of here on this. Buddy Hield, you were just talking about how great he is. Jimmer Fredette, Tyler Hansbrough, other 4-year players, guys that have stayed in college for all 4 years, seem to have a bad rap at the NBA level. Can Buddy Hield buck the trend and be a successful pro?
Yeah, I think he can. I think he and Valentine both can. I really like Valentine too, and I think those experienced players are a refreshing thing to college basketball. We've had too many ones and dones. And not those kids shouldn't do that, but it's been very difficult. And it's 770 transfers last year. Buddy Hield is a clear example of a guy who develops in college and I think will be a terrific 10, 12-year pro.
Jim Calhoun with us. Thanks a lot, Coach. Appreciate the time.
Thank you, guys. Bye.